You wake up with someone else's name in your mouth. It's the first thing you notice, before the dull light leaking through the blinds, before the heaviness in your skull. A name you've never spoken before sits on your tongue like a secret. Elias. You whisper it once, quietly, just to see if it feels familiar. It does. Too familiar. Uncomfortably familiar, like a word from a prayer you stopped believing in but never quite forgot. And here's the question that flickers through your mind. Before you're fully conscious, how can you miss a life you're sure you never had? You sit up slowly, pulse tugging at your throat. Your room looks normal. Your phone charging on the nightstand? A glass of water with dust settling on the rim. Your shoes where you kicked them off last night? It's all yours. It's unmistakably yours, but it feels staged. Arranged around, you're like a set built to reassure an amnesiac. Your heart beats harder because the second realization hits, you know the layout of another bedroom entirely. One with a cracked window frame, curtains with faded blue stripes, and a floorboard near the door that squeaks if you step on the corner. You can almost smell it, told wood in winter. Air. You know where the light switch is, in a hallway you've never walked. You know the weight of keys that have never touched your hand. You know the sound of a woman laughing from the ST kitchen someone, you're certain. You've never matanned the exact way that laugh breaks at the end when she tries to breathe. You know these things the way you know your own heartbeat, and that's what scares you. You sit there, breathing too shallowly. You try to tell yourself it's a dream, a trick of waking. You've read about that before, how the brain clings to dream fragments, how it confuses them with memory. It makes sense. It's logical. You want logic this morning more than anything. But dreams don't leave fingerprints. And this feels like fingerprints pressed into your skull. You whisper the name again, Elias, and your eyes water without warning. You don't know why you're grieving, or who, but grief sits with you anyway, heavy and uninvited. Like someone is supposed to be here, and isn't. You swing your legs over the edge of the bed. The floor is cold, real. You press your bare feet down harder just to confirm reality. You stand. You walk to the bathroom on automatic, your reflection arriving in the mirror half a second before your awareness does. You stare at your face. You know your name? You know your job. You know the line of a faint scar on your chin? From when you fell off your bike at 8 years old, you were certain of who you are until you blink, and for an instant one, heartbeat long flicker, you see a different face layered over yours. Same nose, same mouth, but older, harder, with lines carved by a life you don't remember living. You grip the sink. You don't imagine the sound. Not exactly a voice. More like a thought that doesn't feel like it came from you. We are late. Late for what? You don't know. But your body reacts before your mind does. Your chest tightens. Your shoulders rise. You turn your head toward the door, like you're expecting someone to knock, like you have somewhere you promised to be. You wait. Nothing happens. The house stays still. You laugh once, too quickly. There's nothing funny about this. But sometimes the body uses laughter the way buildings use support beams, just enough to keep things from collapsing. You pick up your phone. The date is correct. Your messages are yours. Work emails, group chat, reminders, everything normal. No mysterious numbers. No strange missed calls from unknown lives. So why do you remember a city you've never visited? Streets you could navigate blindfolded. A coffee shop with a cracked red sign on the corner, the exact pattern of chipped paint on its door. You can picture yourself there. No, not yourself. Him, the other man, Elias, sitting by the window. Stirring sugar into coffee, he doesn't drink sweet. Distracted, watching rain. You know the rain sound. You know how his fingertips tap when he's thinking. Know the shape of the key on his keyring that always catches on his pocket. You lean against the wall and close your eyes. A pressure gathers behind your forehead, like something is trying to surface. Images flash too fast to hold. A staircase. A hospital corridor washed in pale light. A door with a brass number. A hand your hand hesitating inches from the handle, then it's gone. You open your eyes slowly, afraid of what might still be there. Nothing is. Your room looks ordinary again, but you aren't. You get dressed on autopilot. Sometimes movement is safer than stillness. Stillness lets thoughts grow teeth. You leave the house, locking the door. Noticing that the key turns wrong for a moment in your grip, like your muscles expected a different lock entirely. On the street, things should ground you. Traffic, voices, a dog barking somewhere down the block. Life going on. But the sounds overlap strangely today, like two recordings playing out of sync. For a second, pavement under your feet becomes cobblestone beneath the memory of another life. You stop at the corner. Do you tell someone? What would you even say? Hi, I remember being a man who doesn't exist. You imagine their answer. A joke. A diagnosis. A suggestion to sleep more, stress less. But this isn't stress. This isn't tiredness. This is like waking up in the wrong timeline and being the only one who notices. A cold breeze slides along your neck. Suddenly you know without doubt that Elias hated the cold. He used to tuck his hands into his sleeves like a child. Someone teased him for it. You hear her voice, lightly mocking, affectionate. You feel the ache of missing her with a physical intensity that stuns. You don't even know her name. Your eyes burn again. Get a grip, you whisper. But it's not that easy. Because now the question has changed. It's no longer, what if your memories were lying to you? It's what if your memories belonged to someone else and they refuse to let go? You make it through the day in fragments. Work blurs. Conversations feel like scripts you're reading from far away. You nod at the right times. You say the right words. No one notices anything wrong. That terrifies you more than if they had. Because it suggests the split is inside, invisible, something only you can feel. By afternoon, you're exhausted from acting like yourself. Asterisk, when you get home, you don't turn the lights on right away. Darkness feels honest. You sit down and let the weight of the day settle into your shoulders. You rub your temples, and that's when it happens. Not a memory, not exactly. More like a return. You are standing in another apartment. You can feel the floor under different shoes. You look down, except your eyes are closed in your own living room, and yet you see anyway. A narrow hallway. A framed picture on the wall, slightly crooked. Your hand reaches out and straightens it without thinking, like you've done it 1,000 times. A habit, your heart staggers. Your other heart, his heart keeps perfect rhythm. A woman's voice floats from another room. Elias. Dinner's getting cold. Your breath stops. You turn, he turns, and she is there, silhouetted in the doorway, face soft in lamplight. You know every detail of her expression without ever having seen her. You feel an answering warmth in your chest that doesn't belong to the life you remember living. A rush of love so sudden and intense, you almost cry, sitting alone in the dark. And layered over it, cutting through it like a blade, is dread, because you know something terrible is about to happen. You don't know how you know. You just do. The air feels heavy with approaching storm. You hear yourself know, him say, "I'll be right there." Then the world lurches. You're back on your couch. Alone, your hands are shaking. Your chest hurts with grief for people who never existed, except they did, didn't they? They feel more real than photos in your own album. You press your palms to your eyes. What would you do if this were happening to you? Would you fight it? Would you surrender? Would you start to wonder which life was the real one, yours, or the one that remembered you back? You stand again, restless, drawn by something you can't name. You take your phone and search the name Elias plus the city. Remember, your fingers type faster than your thoughts. Results load. Obituaries blur together with articles and profiles. Your vision skims until it snags caught on a headline so simple it feels like a verdict. Local man. Missing. Last seen leaving apartment. Late at night, your stomach drops. You open it. There is his face, the exact face that flickered over your reflection this morning. You don't breathe. He's been missing for months. No leads. No answers. People quoted saying he was kind, quiet, thoughtful. A coworker saying it didn't make sense. A partner not named kept private saying she still expected the door to open sometimes, like he was late. Not gone. You stare until the room seems to tilt. This is impossible. You close your eyes. Images rush in like water through a broken dam, a streetlight haloed in fog. The sensation of being watched, the creak of that same loose floorboard, a decision made in silence, a door opening. Night swallowing you, a shadow stepping out of an alley, not with violence, not with obvious threat, just presence. A conversation you can almost hear but can't make out, like a radio station just beyond range. Then darkness, then nothing, then you. Your hands clench. You feel it now. The terrifying possibility crawling up your spine. What if you didn't just remember his life? What if you woke up inside it when his ended? The thought is wild, irrational. It makes no sense. And yet your bones react like it's true. A sinking certainty fills you that your life began feeling slightly wrong at exactly the moment his disappeared. Memories of childhood, of growing up, of everything before, are they real? Or are they scaffolding built overnight around a vacancy? You try to recall your earliest memory, and it slips. Like your mind is paging through a book with missing chapters. It pretends not to notice. You whisper, "Who am I?" The room doesn't answer. The silence feels deliberate. You check old photos on your phone. They look right. You are in them. The people around you call you by your name. But something about the edges feels blurred. As if the world agrees with your identity, but your mind doth. Another question forms, slow and terrible. If a life ends suddenly, does the mind really vanish? Or can it spill somewhere else into the nearest empty space? You don't know if you believe in souls. You don't know if you believe in anything right now. You only know that you feel like a house with someone else's echo inside. You sleep badly that night. Your dreams are layered. In one, you are walking through your apartment, but the walls keep changing colors, becoming his. You turn corners that shouldn't exist. Doors open into rooms from both lives. People pass you by who know you by two different names. Then the dream shifts. You're in the hallway again, the one from his apartment. You walk toward the door with the brass number. Your hand rises. This time, you don't hesitate. You open it. Cold night air rushes in, sharp as truth. There's someone standing just outside, face in shadow, shape blurred by darkness. You can't see features, only the outline tall, still, familiar in a way that twists your stomach. He dash no. You speak at the same time, voices overlapping from two angles. Who are you? You wake with a gasp. Your heart pounds painfully, as if trying to break out. Sweat chills your skin. You stare at the ceiling until its texture stops rippling. You realize slowly that your cheeks are wet. You don't remember crying the next morning? Everything looks ordinary again, and everything feels wrong. You go through motions, shower, breakfast, shoes, door. The world goes on politely around you, traffic, shop signs, strangers' faces. But beneath it runs another current, deep and undeniable, pulling you toward an answer you both want and fear. Midday. You make a decision that doesn't feel entirely yours. You take a train to the city you remember. You don't need directions. Your feet know where to go before your mind catches up. Turning corners, crossing streets. Each block intensifies the sense of déjà vu until it becomes painful. Buildings appear exactly where you expect them. A street mural you've never seen in this life is already familiar. By the time you reach the cracked red sign of the coffee shop, your hands are shaking. You stand outside for a long moment, then you push the door open. The bell chimes. The smell hits you, coffee, bread, rain-soaked coats, and your vision blurs with recognition so fierce, it's almost relief. This is real. You sit by the window. The chair creaks. The way you knew it would. You can feel the ghost of his elbows resting where yours are now. You order without thinking. You order it exactly the way he did, including the sugar. You don't like sweet coffee? You drink it anyway. A fracture runs through your sense of self. It's clean and straight. You don't know whether you're honoring him or becoming him. Someone laughs behind you. The sound is wrong. It's close to the laugh you remember, but not quite like a word mispronounced. Your chest tightens around. Absence again. You leave before you finish the cup. Your feet take you onward. You are moving toward a building you have never seen but could draw from memory. Your hands tremble more as you approach. You know which buzzer is his? You don't touch it. Instead, you stand on the sidewalk and look up at the windows. What do you expect? A face? A sign? A flash of some truth that will tell you whether you're losing your mind or carrying someone else's? A voice inside whispers, steady and unkind. Both. You close your eyes. The images come not like memories now, but like confessions. You see the last night again, clearer. The conversation in the street. The figure in the shadows steps forward, just enough. Words exchanged. A decision made. You feel fear, not the kind that screams, but the quiet, rational kind that understands exactly how much there is to lose. You feel love for the woman inside, for the life built like a fragile structure out of daily rituals. You feel the pull of something else, something you can't name, like the edge of the world opening, and then a step forward. A vanishing act with no audience and silence. You open your eyes. Here's the second twist. The one you didn't expect until now. You feel that same pull again, not from outside, from inside. It's not about being haunted by his life. It's about the way yours fits over his like transparent paper. It's about the strange fact that you arrived in your own story without noticing the thing. You start to wonder, what if your life isn't the one borrowed? What if you're the one who never existed until he ended? The thought leaves you lightheaded. You grip a railing. If that's true, what are you? A continuation, an echo, a coping mechanism for the universe, or just a mind rewriting itself to survive something it can't accept? You don't know. But suddenly, the question that scares you most is simple. If he comes back, what happens to you? You walk away from the building before you can ring the buzzer. You don't trust your hands as evening falls. The city shifts into shadows and reflections. Streetlights blur. Window glass shows double images of your face, layered with strangers' faces, with the echo of his. You walk until your legs ache, trying to outpace the feeling that you are two overlapping lives running out of time to choose which one is real. You stop on a bridge. Water moves darkly beneath you, neither rushing nor still. You lean on the railing and watch distorted lights ripple. Your thoughts slow. A calm settles in. Unsettling only because it feels. Shared, do you become aware of something you hadn't noticed in absence? A gap in your internal monologue, like a voice that has been there all along, has finally stopped speaking. You strain toward it, like listening for a sound that just ended. Then, softly, it returns, not in words, in certainty. You aren't alone in your own head. You never have. Ben, you feel him the way? You feel the weight of your own presence so constant it became invisible until you looked straight at it. Not hostile. Not kind. Simply, they're observing, resting, waiting. A realization spreads through you. Slow and cold. You didn't just remember his life you've been living with. Him, two minds, sharing one story, yours and his, or maybe just his. And the space where you grew around him like ivy around an old wall. The wind rises. Across the water, the lights shimmer, and another possibility opens. Quiet and terrifying in its simplicity. What if there is no original? What if the self is just the story memory tells, and now there are two storytellers? You straighten. The night feels different now. Less like a threat, more like a question. You don't have answers. You don't know whether you are the intruder or the heir, the echo or the origin. You only know that both lives feel real, because you are the one feeling them. You walk home slowly. You don't check your reflection tonight. You're not sure which face you want to see. Before sleep, you stare at the ceiling and ask the darkness the only question that matters anymore. If you're still here, what do you want? There is no voice, no words, just a sensation, like a hand gently resting on yours. Like reassurance. Or like claim. You close your eyes. You dream of two doors. One with your name, one with his. Both are slightly open. You wake with the certainty that you could choose to close. Either or step through both. You get up. The morning light looks new, and not because anything has changed, but because you have accepted what hasn't. You may never know which life is truly yours. You may never untangle memory from identity, reality from the echo of reality. You may never find out what happened the night he disappeared, or why the universe or your mind decided that you would remember. But one truth remains. Quiet and inescapable, you are living a life you both remember and don't. And that is now who you are as you stand by the window. Watching the day begin, a final question whispers through you. Not frightening, but strangely calm. If your memories shape yourself, then who will you become the next time a life ends and remembers you? You don't answer. You let the question live with you, just as he does.